I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I do not have a script written, but it's okay because we are here for the 10th and final round of the 24th season of the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge presented by Nitro Circus. And we're here at the Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida. And what's really interesting is I parked in the infield when I was at the Cup race in August, but that's irrelevant. But anyways, as we welcome you to Daytona Beach, it's Josh Mertz. I'm at the commentary box, as always, for the Automotive Sports Network on Nitro Circus Twitch. I have Cody Erdmann alongside me, Zack Johnson in the production truck downstairs as we get ready. Our broadcast tonight brought to you by Simracer Coin, the cryptocurrency made by Simracers for Simracers, and our 22 Simracers will race to own the winner's coin tonight. This is the point where I'd go through point standings. I will in a minute here, Cody, but I have to ask you, of course, we have one race left, but I want your thoughts on the season so far.
It's been a pretty wild season so far, what I'd say. Having Luke Krause, who's dominated the season, which some may have predicted that, but just like how dominant it's been is, I think, been the unpredictable part. And then as well of who's been trying to be his rival, his championship rival. We saw Robbie kind of have glimpses of trying to battle with him at like Brands Hatch and such, and then Brandon Hartley, him as well. I think them two have come on strong here, especially at the end of the season. So we'll see if we can maybe have another one final battle here in Daytona, or see possibly someone new, because we have some older faces with like Magnus showing back up tonight, and some newer faces of Harley Moss, one of the GT guys here that runs here, along with, I believe, there's another driver for the Australian squad that is running here as well tonight, I believe.
As we are getting used to all the new faces, we have 3 winners this season in 9 races, and you'd think, oh god, that's terrible. As Luke Krause 6 wins on the season. I must have done that math wrong. No, 7 wins as he won in Atlanta. I just didn't update my spreadsheet. So 7 wins, and then I think it was Christian Lindo that won in Spain, and then Josh Klog picked up the pieces for Fiercely Forward in Phoenix. But it has been a clean sweep for Fiercely Forward throughout this season. I know we don't have our points graphic up just yet, but we'll go ahead and take a look at the Drivers' Championship, as Luke Krause locked that up officially last week at 273 points ahead of his teammate Josh Klog with 221. Matt Hartley back there in third with 199. Then it's Ray Kingsbury and Bodie Cryer 165 to 152. It's a big fight for 5th on back, Cody, as Cryer, Schofield, Larill very tight on points. We know that everything can happen, and it usually does, in NASA Rallycross. As the Sportsman Cup presented by KES Industries, Keep 'em Spinning Industries, adaptive controls for sim racing. We want to thank Mario Bonfante Jr. for all of your support all season long, of course, for North American Simulated Auto Racing. We have Andrew Howell, 22 points ahead of Parker Fleming, unofficially kind of clinched it last week in Atlanta. The Constructors' Championship presented by Ferris Shifters. Shift your way to the top. Facebook.com/Ferris Shifters. Yet again, Fiercely Forward miles ahead of Spark LLM, 497 to 350, and it's a brawl for second in the Constructors' Championship. It's a 9-point difference back to Ferris Shifters. As the Manufacturers' Championship powered by Majors Garage, it's been locked up for a while. Subaru has won every single race this season, 294 to Volkswagen's 169, and Ford back in third with 136. A couple of other partners that we say farewell to after tonight's broadcast on Nitro Circus Twitch: iDrive Sim Training, Drive Safe, Arrive Safe, iDriveSimTraining.com.au, and DNF Auto Care, your friendly Landsboro mechanic, DNFAutoCare.com.au, the Australians seeking other ventures, which is completely respectable. We thank them for their support and wish them well in their future endeavors. As we take a look in qualifying, red plate, technically speaking, I think it was an inside joke actually that if they locked up the championship early, you run a gold number. But either way, Luke Krause a set 10th and a half up on Matt Hartley as we get ready to go for Heat 1. Really quickly, I completely forgot about the format. You can tell that Black Friday weekend has really frazzled my mind. 3 heat races, 6 laps apiece. Joker lap once. The top 2 will transfer. And then we have 2 semifinals. Normally it'd be 3 cars, but Daytona on the sim has been limited to the amount of cars. It'll be 2 cars out of each, 8 laps, Joker twice, and the feature is 12 cars. Or 10 cars, sorry. 10 laps, Joker twice. I remember this track. It's where I decided to yeet myself into the tire barrier and decide I was retiring. But what is your opinion of this track, Cody?
I've been actually messing around with it a little bit. I ran a race here earlier this week, and it's a real nice. It's not real technical. Besides the chicane before the jump and then after the jump, is really the only 2 technical spots of the track. So as long as you hit those 2 spots perfectly every time, you'll be money the whole rest of the lap.
As we get ready for heat number 1, defending champion Luke Krause on pole position. Jason Hook, Robbie Larill, Ray Kingsbury, Magnus Okenhaug, Andrew Howell, Russell Peterson, and Harley Moss, one of the sequential sim sport drivers making his debut in NASA Rallycross. And of course, we have a long show tonight for us to enjoy, but we thank everyone all season long for watching. I cannot believe that we're about to wrap up the 24th season and begin year number 10 of NASA Sim Racing. 2022 is going to be absolutely awesome. Just keep an eye out on the Discord, nasadiscord.tk for all of that information as we get ready to grid up for heat number 1. Krause on the inside of the first row. Hook in the middle, Larill on the outside. As we go green for heat 1, Krause gets a good jump. Hook goes further to the left to nearly block Larill. Into turn 1, Hook deep into the corner. Krause backs it up, better apex, and car number 1 leads us off the first corner. Contact in the back. Hook goes through the chicane. Okenhaug in third. Larill, Kingsbury, Moss, Peterson, I think it was Howell, made contact with him in the back of the shot. Hook over the jump a little squirrely, sits in second. Okenhaug to the inside, the Norwegian, we haven't seen him in a while, taking the fight to car number 137. Norwegian versus Australian versus Canadian out front. Into the hairpin, very tricky to get right. You want to flick the handbrake, but it'll over-rotate like it happened to Ray Kingsbury there. But Cody, Luke Krause, everything is the same. He leads as we near the end of lap 1.
As Luke takes the Joker right away, just set him out even farther away from the rest of the traffic. That'll help him just run his own race and be able to possibly take this heat win, just like we've seen most of the season. I was kind of surprised that Robbie Larill in that beautiful brand new Bolt Jet livery, he lost a spot there on the start, going from 3rd to 4th, so see if he can rally back from that.
I have noticed that, at least the line that I used to take when I raced here, it was a lot like Jason Hook's line. You'd overrun the corner and try and box him in versus box him out on the apex. That didn't help him, and now Okenhaug, they're still battling for the 2nd spot. These guys, I don't think have taken their Joker off the road as Hook in the 137. He saves it. I think he might have gotten a slowdown, obviously enough. Luke Krause absolutely loves this. We take a look at the Joker rotation. Magnus has already taken his, Robbie has not, and it's not a huge delta, and Robbie's not going to be helped by running off the road, exiting the jump.
Now, Ray was able to kind of capitalize, but now he ran wide, so now Robbie's going to hop back into that 3rd position.
Side by side, contact between Kingsbury and Larill, and they are both around. Hook is involved as well. And that's another tricky spot. I remember there's a bump right on the train because it goes from asphalt to concrete. There's a bump right on that turn there, and around they went. I have spun so many times at that corner.
Yeah, that's kind of a trickier corner. Ooh, Harley Moss gets into the grass a little bit right in the braking zone, so now we get a really squirrely going into the final hairpin here. So he was able to keep it out of the back of Robbie. Now we have a 4-car train here, trying to battle for that final possible transfer spot.
As remember, we only get 2 cars transfer out of the heat race, so Okenhaug out and away in 2nd, but I don't think Jokers have been taken on these positions 3 down the order, but they've all been involved in some kind of accident, so tripping over each other, not the best of plans, as it is allowed Krause and Okenhaug to pull away, so we take 2 laps to go.
As Robbie here, he takes a Joker, so I'll kind of give us an idea as he's still behind the jump, as Magnus has already taken the jump and coming up to the dirt hairpin. So, yeah, I think with them battling like they are, unfortunately, they've set themselves way behind Magnus. So it looks like Magnus and Luke, barring any issues happening and any self-inflicted wounds, that these two will be our two guys transferring to the final for heat number 1.
As, of course, we still have 1 lap to go, right around 40 seconds left. And throughout the 9 years in NASA Sim Racing, yourself and myself have seen crazier things happen. Crashing and losing in the middle of a heat race or on the last corner. Okenhaug overjumped in the 26. He saves it. This is a battle for third as we look at Kingsbury versus Larill, 25 versus 213. These guys, of course, have history. 2 laps ago, Hook to the inside. I'm looking off screen, passes Harley Moss, but they're still side by side. Larill with Kingsbury. Much cleaner through the corner, different lines. Robbie's going to try and run it wide on the exit, hits the wall. It's not going to help him. Luke Krause wins Heat 1 as we were too focused on the battle for third. We missed the defending champion winning that heat race. Pole position yet again for the Canadian. And Magnus Okenhaug the feature in his first race in quite some time. As Ray Kingsbury battling to the line with Larill. It's a better seating spot for the man from Connecticut over the man from Texas. Third and fourth for those two. There's Jason Hook, Harley Moss, and Andrew Howell, along with Russell Peterson, round out our order for heat number 1. And despite the fact that the two were up front, out and away from the rest of the field, Cody, that was a damn good heat race.
Yeah, that middle pack, just everyone having their own different strategies and everything, and a little bit of different speeds to help just a good battle that whole squad had there going with Ray, Robbie, Hook, and Harley Moss. Those 4 guys kind of all tied together.
As we have our second heat race of the evening here in Daytona Beach, the Daytona Rising Festival of Speed presented by iDrive Sim. I'll completely take the blame on that one. I didn't know the name of the race until 2 seconds ago. Matt Hartley, the 2020A champion of the series. Bodie Cryer, the Endurance Cup champion from last season, alongside Josh Clogg in the 199 for Fiercely Forward. Ben Forster in the 23 for Team Watson Racing. Adam Thomas, also for Team Watson Racing. Chris Wetz and Ian Fisher in 6th and 7th. So that's our second grid lineup. Like usual, the first heat race, out and away, no real battles for the top 2. I don't know who's going to win this heat race, but it's going to be all to play for going down into turn number 1, and we know Hartley does not budge entering the corner. 6 laps, top 2 advance. Green flag in Daytona Beach. Hartley gets a great start compared to Cryer and Clogg. Down to turn number 1, side by side, half a car length between the 05 and the 48. Contact with Clogg. Clogg shoves Cryer out wide. Forster tries to get to the inside of Clogg. He's going to have the better run, but he's going to be hurt. Forster to second spot in the Volkswagen. Over the jump. Hartley loves this. He gets pushed out of the way, does Forster, and into the tire barrier goes the 23. What a start for him, but what a fall as well. Hartley, nice gap, a second already compared to Clogg and Cryer. These two are going to be battling into the hairpin. And that's such a tricky corner to get right because you want to instinctively rip the handbrake, but it over-rotates like I mentioned last race. You need to utilize the weight of the car to transfer you through the corner. But no jokers so far. No jokers at all except for Ian Fisher. But Matt Hartley, out and away, leads at the end of lap 1.
Yes. Harley jumps out, gives a nice, comfortable lead up to Josh Clogg and Bodie Cryer. Them two, I was kind of surprised that no other actions were taken between them two. Clogg kind of pushing Bodie out of the way to get by him there on the initial start. I don't know if Bodie will kind of remember that for later or not.
As we take a look at Cryer once again, he is sitting in the 3rd position, right behind Josh Clogg, and Cryer will joker in the 05. We're going to see the rotation of the Delta. Hartley holds the lead, Cryer to 2nd, and it's not a big Delta like we mentioned earlier, but you want to get it done early, and especially before the track grips up. As we know, the Subarus, compared to the other manufacturers, are not the greatest when the track grips up. Clogg clipped the curb on the inside there, ran through the grass, still trying to maintain this gap. As he has not taken his joker, I think it's going to be an easy overtake for the 199, but Hartley is his bigger focus.
Yeah, completely agree. I think Bodie actually kind of hurt himself here because now Clogg's got something to chase that's a little bit closer than what Hartley was. So now that gap, he can see it closing a lot quicker. So kind of help to his advantage in closing that gap, and then he'll take the Joker to pass him.
The level of perfection required, and I say this every week, but I'm watching the onboard feeds of these guys, and I could never maintain the consistency, and as I speak of it, Josh Clogg, a little bit shallow on the inside of the corner. I'm taking a look at the back of the field. Ian Fisher battling with Ben Forster. This is for 6th spot. Forster has not taken his Joker, sneaks to the inside of Fisher. They make contact. This is for 6th, and it does not seem like it, as Forster takes the position away. Chris Wetz in the 71, one of the inaugural drivers back in 2012, has ran every single season at least one race in the 71, Forster Jokers, and passes the 71.
Yeah, as Forster, first round ever here in NASA Rallycross was last week in a Ford, because I guess he accidentally clicked the wrong manufacturer to drive in. So now in his proper Team Watson livery, sponsored by Nitro Circus, in his VW Beetle. So unfortunately didn't have the greatest start here in the heat. See if he can kind of redeem himself in the semifinal.
As I'm going to try and take a look off monitor to see what happened to Adam Thomas. It looks as though he just parked the car. I don't know if he got a penalty or not, but he parked in turn 1. And off screen, or off my screen, Chris Wetz. What happened here? He hit the wall. He got really close last lap. And the 71 into the fence. We have had such an interesting race so far that we haven't even paid attention to the top 3. Hartley has not jokered yet. He will essentially, I hate to say it this way, he's going to win this heat race, but it's going to be down to Clogg. Clogg has lost a huge amount of time from Cryer. And the 199 must joker. Hartley wins, exiting the joker for the final lap at the line. I think it was Clogg getting the transfer over Cryer.
It was by 0.03 of a second.
And that is how important strategy is, and that is why we talk about it every single race, every single week.
Well, and that's like I've always said, that when the joker lap's shorter, it's almost best to take it at the very last lap. This way, especially if you have an open track the entire time, because then you can take it, and when you're in a rhythm for the first however many laps, and then when you take it on the final lap, especially when it's coming to the line there, it's actually even more of an advantage, because you don't have to worry about the speed carried through the chicane like you would on every other lap.
As our third and final heat of the evening, David Schofield, Kieran Forrest, Cody Crosgrove, Daniel Aish, Matt Kingsbury, Justin Robichaux, and Parker Fleming. Another 6-lap race. We will determine our 5th and 6th seeds. Green flag. Much more of an even start compared to Schofield and Forrest. Crosgrove on the outside into turn 1. Pushing out wide with Schofield onto Forrest. Kingsbury in the 21 tries to sneak in. Much calmer, single file, through turns 1 and 2, through the chicane, over the jump. Big Dog Forrest, really squirrely over the jump, but he does not give up time as everyone's single file. Looks like Daniel Aish might have missed the start in the 33.
As these guys nice and orderly through this first lap. Let's see who will take the first joker here. Who'll be the first one to jump on the strategy.
Schofield into the joker, cementing his lead. Like you had mentioned earlier, there's 2 factors that you can do: jokering immediately as the leader, or jokering at the last possible moment, like Clogg in that last race. But now here's the problem. If we look at Forrest in the 44, that is not a big delta. He might have actually lost time, Schofield did, by taking the joker early, and especially ripping the handbrake compared to Forrest in the 44 and the hairpin.
Yeah, as I've noticed that Kieran's been really quick here tonight, here at Daytona. I think that Ford has been really playing to advantage, as you know, he takes a joker, so we're going to find out really quick.
Jokering his Big Dog in the 44, he takes the lead. So for the first time in a while, we have a Ford Fiesta out front, regardless if it was a heat race, as the Japanese manufacturer Subaru has been out and away for the last couple of seasons here in NASA Rallycross. We know Kieran Forrest is good at Rallycross. We know he has experience it's good to see him up front.
Yeah, it's nice to see that sequential Sims 4 ride out front. And with the Ford, we don't get the best advantage on the fresh new dirt, but now that we're in the final heat race, so the dirt's worn in, and this track is about evenly matched from dirt to asphalt. Most of the tracks we run are like 3/4 dirt, so the Subaru plays more of an advantage on those tracks than it does like a place like here.
So the two cars that have not jokered, Parker Fleming and Matt Kingsbury. Daniel H. has been black flagged from race control according to the listing here. I'm trying to figure out why, but we have a battle for the lead. It only took 3 heat races. Big Dog defended into the hairpin, onto the super speedway for just a brief moment, and down into the road course. Through the chicane, down to the first hairpin of the infield road course. We're going to have 2 laps to go, and these two are equally matched on lap time, it looks like. As we look at that was Daniel H. for just a moment in the 33 having some issues. Over the jump, Big Dog really, I don't want to say squirrely again, but that was a rough line that he took on that second part of the chicane. Schofield hanging tough with him, though, in the 27.
As it seems like he almost whips it across the jump there every time. It seems like, especially on the launch here out of the hairpin, with that Subaru, it's a little bit better to launch through the dirt, and then once it gets to the asphalt, the Subaru kind of kicks back in. Because now he's starting to stretch it out. I think these two would be kind of smart to have a little bit of a gap in between them, just in case they make a mistake. This way they don't take each other out of both jumping in the final here.
Final lap for Kieran Forrest and David Schofield. Kieran's line reminds me of Jake Robertson when he ran this car. You point the car at a completely wrong angle and somehow manage to land over the jump and be obnoxiously fast. I can't figure that line out, but there's a reason why I hung up the helmet. Schofield got really close in the final hairpin, or in the dirt hairpin, I should say, but it's going to take a lunge for him to make anything happen.
Is Cody Cosgrove, he actually reeled these guys in a little bit, running a 39.7 that last lap, so look for him to be a possible factor in one of these semifinals.
Checkered flag. Forrest wins Heat 3. Schofield P2. They will seed 5th and 6th. In Daytona Beach, Cody Cosgrove in 3rd. Kingsbury 4th. Robichaux in 5th. 6th is... Well, I thought it was Daniel H. I stand corrected. 6th was Fleming. 7th was Daniel H. In Heat number 3. So now we begin our semifinals. And the reason why car 33 was black flagged, car 33 got shoved through the Joker, did not complete it, but the sim counted it. And Ray attempted to rectify using a manual black flag. So did this cause an issue? That's why the 33 was put to the back. This is the first semifinal grid. Ray Kingsbury, Cody Cosgrove, Ben Forster, Jason Hook, Justin Robichaux, Chris Wetz, Russell Peterson, and Daniel Aish. 4 Volkswagens for the first time in a race, and I think that was 4 Subarus. As we get ready, this is the first race that is 8 laps, 2 jokers, and still 2 cars transfer. So we're going to see some shenanigans down to turn 1. Green flag. Forster gets the better start compared to Cosgrove and Kingsbury down to turn 1. Late on the brakes is Cosgrove. Shoves the 23 of Forster out wide. Kingsbury says, thank you so much, Cody Cosgrove. I'm going to appreciate that. Side by side through the chicane. Very tricky to get right. Cosgrove ahead of Hook. As Forster sideways over the jump into the wall once again. And the worst luck for car 23. Hook brutalizes his way through Cody Cosgrove for the second spot, as Justin Robichaux sits in 4th behind his teammate. Ray Kingsbury absolutely loves this one, though, pulling away from the field. But remember, this is the first race where you have to take 2 bits of strategy. Kingsbury says, I'm going to forget about that. I'm going to joker right away, as Ray Kingsbury leads at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Take one now and then maybe wait a little bit and see how the field stacks up behind him a little bit. As Cosgrove's been really impressive here, taking on the Rallycross. He's normally a GT specialist, so with him playing out here in the dirt, he's going to hang it really quickly.
Into the curb, running it wide. He saves it, but he's going to lose the position to Cody Cosgrove. And the surprise of the evening so far is the Canadian. I don't know if car number 18 is his assigned number. I don't think I assigned him a number in the league. That's my bad, but Cosgrove certainly turning some heads, at least in my eyes, as Kingsbury jokers, Cosgrove jokers, and Hook jokers. So the strategy is going to be complete for Kingsbury, but this is going to be a brawl for the second spot and the only transfer spot, remember. Over the jump! Hook lands on the rear wing, and into the wall goes the 137.
Oh, and then he comes
into wets.
And blasts into wets there. Unable to see.
And that car is torn up. Left rear suspension pointed in a direction that you don't want to be pointed. And that's not the first time that cars have landed on each other in NASA Rallycross. I remember that I think you and I did back in Canada in 2014.
Yes. St. Eustache, I think we landed on each other.
St. Eustache, we did. We were battling for the race lead, and that was not a fun time. Position change. Aish passed Robichaux. That is for P3 now. Now, if I were these guys, I would just stop battling because they have both of their strategies left. And Cosgrove only has one left. So that instantly puts you at an advantage, but you got to stop battling.
Yeah, I think Aish is really starting to find his rhythm here and see if he can possibly battle his way into the final. It seemed like Cosgrove had hit that bump that you were talking about going into the final hairpin, so he ran that hairpin really wide. Is now, speaking of strategy, he's going to complete his with taking the Joker. So now he's right about 5 car lengths off the back bumper of Ray Kingsbury.
As we take cross flags in semifinal A, Cosgrove took his Joker, stays behind the 25 of Ray Kingsbury. Robichaux off the road, off screen in the 93, comes back out. What is going on with wets today? If he didn't have any luck, he wouldn't have any at all, and that really describes Chris Wetz' NASA career.
Yeah, and that car's bright enough, you'd think people would see it, but apparently not tonight.
The driver that got so close so many years ago for a couple of championships back in 2017, 2014, and 2012 is apparently a magnet for everyone to crash into the semifinal.
And also we missed it that Daniel Aish also took the Joker the same time Cody Cosgrove finished his strategy, so now he's got one more Joker left, and unfortunately that delta is still a little bit too big.
We'll see Cody Cosgrove making a debut in the feature race. If everything goes to plan, he's going to have 2 laps to go, and he is keeping up with Ray Kingsbury. I look at the last lap time, and on paper it doesn't look like it. Kingsbury ran a 39.8, Cosgrove a 40.2. We're going to watch the refresh now, 40.0 to a 39.8. Cosgrove faster than Kingsbury.
Yeah, as the track, I can starting to tell already that it's wearing in a little bit, especially in the main line, so I think that Volkswagen's starting to come into its own, and that's the advantage to the Subaru starting to equal out already.
We're going to come to the white flag, and we'll see. This is going to be fascinating. Cosgrove hits the wall. I was just about to say, I don't know if the track state's going to reset, but that would be brutal for the Volkswagen and the Ford versus the Subaru. Kingsbury defends into the final corner. I'm not really sure why he does that. Jason Hook has moved into P3. What has happened with Daniel Aish? Let me try and catch a replay off monitor.
Ooh, his car is obliterated.
Aish was in P3, and he crashed into the tire barriers. We look at Wetz jokering. He came back out on track, and Jason Hook just said, thank you, I'm going to take that spot. If there was a 12-lap or 12-car race, Jason Hook would be really loving it, but for whatever reason, Daytona only allows 10 cars in a feature race. The 2 drivers that don't care are Ray Kingsbury and Cody Cosgrove. Kingsbury will win semifinal A, ahead of Cody Cosgrove, who will make the feature in what I believe is his first NASA Rallycross race. As Jason Hook will come home in the 12th spot, the 9th spot, 11th. Words are hard, math is hard. 11th.
And Russell Peterson, P4, so he'll finish 13th overall tonight.
15th, Wetz. 17th, Aish. 19th, Forster. 21st, Justin Robichaux. The track state has been reset for this second semifinal. I don't know if that's, I think that's normal, but that's going to kill the other manufacturers.
Which I was going to say that we've had 2 weeks in a row where first-time starters have made the final 2 weeks in a row. Fortunately, I think Mr. Forrester probably should have stuck with the Ford because he had a lot better luck in that.
As they are already on grid. I can't even go through the grid for the second semifinal. Green flag off the back row of the grid. Thomas got a great start, but he got boxed in. Into turn one. Larill in the middle. Cryer and then Kingsbury. Down to turn one. Fisher's going to push the 21 of Kingsbury wide. Here comes Thomas. Thomas pushes the 51 out wide. And Adam Thomas has gone from last to third over the jump for the first time. Cryer leads. Larill exits stage right. And the 213 off the road. He saves it, but he's into Matt Kingsbury. Around he goes, and he will be taken out of the contention. But now Adam Thomas, after half a lap, goes from last to second, and you know he wants more.
Yeah, as you could tell right off the start that he was doing everything in his power. He kind of
between Moss and Kingsbury, and Fleming sneaks past in the 434.
As Thomas
and Fleming hits the wall in the 434. I don't think you should speak for the rest of this race, as every one of your cars have crashed.
Yeah, every time I speak, they keep messing up. I don't know what's going on tonight. So I was going to say that Thomas, he kind of shoved Ian Fisher, boxed him out, and then just boxed out another driver as well, just in the same two corners. So I think he's taking no prisoners tonight to make this final.
It's Cryer out and away by a decent margin over Adam Thomas. Thomas has won a race, so has Cryer in the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge. Bodie Cryer won last season in Bark River, and Adam Thomas won last season in Crandon. It was back-to-back first-time winners for the first time in quite some time that in that season. And these two we know are good on the endurance tracks, and it's going to take a lot to try and beat Luke Krause, but these guys certainly showing the consistency that they need. That last lap wasn't too great from Cryer. It was a 40.8 compared to Thomas, 40.3.
Yeah, I don't know. The Volkswagen seems to be a lot more equal tonight here in Daytona than they have been this whole season. So I don't know if it's because of the more pavement or what it is, but that Volkswagen squad really brought their A game tonight, because most of them have been battling for a transfer spot or transferring in.
As these two out and away, no strategy really has been taken. Cryer has taken one joker. Thomas is pushing so hard. Thomas was 0.4 up that last lap on Cryer in the 0.5. In the 625, Thomas was against the 0.5. I don't know. He might have lost it exiting the dirt there that last lap. Cryer locks it up. Thomas much neater through the corner as we take cross flags.
Yeah, as Thomas took the late apex there, running a 39.9 to Bodie's 40 flat, so only a 10th faster there for Adam Thomas.
And this track, so treacherous. It doesn't look like it, like you mentioned in the opener, but it's so treacherous to get right, especially the transition from asphalt to concrete back to asphalt. And this is the corner that's killing Thomas, as he got the drive off this time. He still has a joker left. We know the delta's right around what he has. Maybe he's going to wait. No, he's not. He's going to joker in the 625, get himself out and ahead of the 0.5, and he will. Thomas to the lead.
Yes, he sets out. Ooh, they're running a really fast joker. Most of the people I've seen run like a 39.1 roughly. He ran a 38.5 that time.
Cryer, right, much better run though through the end of the jump. Thomas has to defend. Cryer trying to sneak to the inside. They are coming up on lap traffic. Ian Fisher in the 51. I don't think it's going to affect him in any way. But now we're going to have to pay attention. Matt Kingsbury has taken one of his jokers. Fisher will complete his strategy and get out of the way of the leaders. But I don't think it's Matt Kingsbury's day after the contact with Harley Moss.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's just 8 seconds off of that lead duo, so a little bit too far back. And running about 9/10 roughly off those two's pace, so it's not like he's really catching them as Ian Fisher lets him go.
As Fisher off the road, letting the leaders go by. And Cryer was 2/10 down that last lap on Thomas. Once Thomas pulled away, or took the lead, he has pulled away 40.894 to 41.0 for Bodie Cryer. We're going to take the white flag in semifinal B here in Daytona Beach, as the sun looks like it's beginning to set nearly, or at least hide behind the clouds. Potentially that is a factor as well, the weather with the asphalt and the dirt temperatures changing, but I'm also not a meteorologist, so I wouldn't really know that. 69 degrees ambient, 73 track temp, 50 degree humidity, that's true to Florida, and an east wind at 5 miles an hour. I can confirm the humidity when I was down there for the Cup race. That was certainly a fun time. Thomas had a joker left. So did Cryer, but it doesn't matter. Adam Thomas wins semifinal B ahead of Bodie Cryer. As Andrew Howell looks like he crashed out of 4th, so Matt Kingsbury will come home 12th overall. 14th for Larill. 16th for Parker Fleming. 18th for Fisher. 20th for Moss. And 22nd will be our last runner, Ian Fisher. As there's a nice argument being had on the voice chat.
Yeah. As people should look at the replay before opening their mouth. That's all I will say.
As while we have a moment, I will go ahead and unofficially update the point standings here. And let's see, not that it really matters, but we'll see how everything rotates out. As Luke Krause, once again, will be on pole position. And I am very excited to end this season off. This race, because there's no real championships being decided, it certainly has amped up the competition and amped up the emotions, I would say, throughout the field.
Yeah, as everyone's wanting to end the season on a strong note. They're trying to get the best possible finish that they can to end the season off strong. Or, who knows, they may have a points battle that they're trying to get, maybe team or sportsman or just overall drivers championship. They could be a couple points behind someone, so they're trying to get every point they can.
As we look at Jason Hook, Hook finished 3rd in his LCQ, so that puts him 13th. 15th was Russell Peterson. Actually, he puts him 11th. I really know how to do math. I know how to read, too. It's really good. This is what happens when you do live streams. You really don't pay attention. Chris Wetz. Daniel Aish. And we'll get a live update on points here in just a moment, but Ben Forrester finished 5th in his debut last week and way down in 19th. What could have been?
Yeah, like I was saying, like he should have probably stuck with the Ford because he had a lot better luck with the Ford that he accidentally selected than the VW here tonight. So I don't know if that was something to do with it or just terrible luck, unfortunately.
As we'll step away for just a brief moment while I finish up these points, and I'll have you listen to some rally cars going around the track. as we welcome you back to the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge in 2021. This is the 10th and final round of the 24th season of the championship as we are getting ready in Daytona Beach. Round number 206 of the championship overall. Luke Krause, Matt Hartley, Kieran Forrest on the front row of the grid. Magnus Okenhaug, Josh Klog, David Schofield, then Ray Kingsbury, Adam Thomas, Cody Crosgrove, and Bodie Cryer. As it's Josh Mertz alongside me is Cody Erdmann, and we have Zack Johnson down in the production truck. It's been a long, much longer than 10 weeks due to off weeks, but it's been a long season. It's been a fun season. It might have been predictable for the race win, but who knows what's going to happen over these next 10 laps in Daytona Beach. Glad you can join us on Nitro Circus Twitch, powered by the Automotive Sports Network, as we get ready to go green in Daytona Beach. Green flag off the line. Hartley, much better start in the first phase. Down to turn one. He looks like he's going to try and clear Krause into the first corner. Car number one locks it up. Side by side, Big Dog Forrest along with Luke Krause as Matt Hartley leads at the beginning of the first lap. Krause has fallen to third over the jump for the first time. Will Klog force his teammate down the order further? We'll have to see. Clean throughout the field. Contact with Cryer and Kingsbury down the order. And Hartley only has won once. Krause, slow down in car number one. This is crucial for him to try and get another race victory. We'll have to see what'll happen. Clean through the field, very close. But Matt Hartley, side by side, Okenhaug with Thomas. Contact between them through the chicane as Okenhaug clips the policeman, and through the Joker into the wall goes the 26.
And just clobbering the tire barrier. Unfortunately, it looks like his night will be done.
Hartley leads ahead of Forrest. Klog, Thomas off the jump in the 625, and Klog's into the wall as well. What is going on here in Daytona Beach? Who knows? Klog's got a torn up car, so does Thomas, and Kingsbury tries to sneak through the picture here.
As everyone else is trying to fight, trying to get that third spot now, as Kieran Forrest and Hartley just run away from the rest of the field.
Four wide for a moment. Contact Crosgrove with Schofield, along with Krause. Krause is involved in this as well. When we said there was no stakes, we didn't mean everyone lose their minds. Inside Klog on Thomas there, excuse me. Here comes Krause into his teammate. The teammates come together, and that's a phrase I have not said in 3 years between you and I, or me and Phil.
And by the way, we have
Kieran Forrest takes the lead.
We have a new leader, Big Dog.
One Joker already taken for the 44. This puts a Ford Fiesta out front for the first time in quite a while. Matt Hartley in second. The best thing to do, Cody, would be to take the Joker. I know you don't like this one. Forrest takes the Joker, completes his strategy. From a non-team owner point of view, I don't know if that was a good idea.
Oh, it's one way to find out. I don't know if he was worried about Hartley trying to force a move on him, or if he felt like if he was able to jump out away from him, that he can just kind of stretch that lead far enough that he'll be able to not have to just be able to worry about going out the front window, not worry about the rear view mirror.
The track is wearing in, so maybe the Ford's going to be helped with this. The Fiercely Forward boys way down the order, so very out of the ordinary compared to what we're used to this season. And frankly, I wish it could have happened sooner. But that's me wanting the crazy racing to happen. Jokering as Hartley. Forrest gets past now in the 44 over the jump. Hartley a little squirrely exiting the jump over the sleeping policeman. Forrest tried the outside, thought better of it. Gives the 48 a nudge through the double apex. And this battle's not over. Hartley has a Joker left, but Forrest doesn't want him to get away in the 48.
As these two, I know, probably have max respect for each other, racing with each other for the last couple seasons here. So they know how to race each other fairly cleanly. As these two are checked out from the rest of the field, as Hartley takes the Joker, so this will give us an idea. But they have a 5-second lead over Bodie Cryer in P4, or P3, sorry.
Now the task for Kieran Forrest is to try and hunt down former champion Matt Hartley in the 48. We know Forrest is fast in that Ford Fiesta. Cryer got by Kingsbury for the third spot. Kingsbury struggling. Luke Krause trying to make spots up through the order. Cody Crosgrove on that rear wing of the car number one. We'll have to pay attention to the Delta. Strategy is done for the top six. A lot of time was lost in the dirt hairpin from Kieran Forrest. I don't have the intervals in front of me, but we'll take a look. 1.5 seconds from Hartley to Forrest. Thank you, Zach Johnson, for picking that up. Cryer still third. We'll just have to see. Half a second down from Forrest, or was Forrest to Hartley that last lap.
Yeah, he a 40.1 to a 40.5, so he is reeling them in. That whole idea of having someone out there to chase is definitely not a bad thing. So if he can kind of reel them in to the final lap and then possibly give the good old-fashioned chrome horn, give a little bump and run action, that's could be all she wrote. So we'll see if Kieran's able to put that together.
Ford loses a lot of time exiting the dirt. Kingsbury ahead of Kraus, 25 versus 1. 3 laps to go for the top two. Kraus to the inside of the 25, exiting the final corner to begin lap 8 for him, wanting to try and finish on the podium. Kingsbury over the jump, lands it a little bit awkwardly, holds the position ahead of the champion. And the gap is lengthening from Hartley to Forrest. Kingsbury really wide in the dirt hairpin. Will he get the advantage off the corner? He did for a moment. He's going to hold the line side by side through the chicane. Respectful are these two drivers onto the straightaway, and Kraus is going to pass him. Will Kingsbury back up the corner? He will. Sneaks to the inside. He gets nudged by the 625 of Thomas, but that's not enough. Luke Kraus to P4 in car number 1.
As we got 2 laps to go here, because Harley and Kieran ran only a 10th different lap time there, so not really much change there. Cody Cryer set out away from everyone else. Got a 3-second advantage back to Luke Kraus now, so he's sitting fairly comfortable here in P3.
As contact, it looks like it was Thomas and Kingsbury. These two battling still for the 5th spot, side by side. Ray's going to try and do the same thing that Luke did. And onto the curb went Kingsbury. He got pushed by the 625. I'm going to keep my mouth shut from a penalty standpoint, but that was a little tricky. White flag for Hartley. And Ray Kingsbury just cussed, and that's something that doesn't really happen normally. So you know something's going wrong.
Yeah, tonight's been kind of odd for Adam. I don't know what's gotten into him tonight. He's been a little bit more aggressive than he has been all season, so making some mistakes that are not like him. So I'm not sure what's up with him tonight.
Get the whiskey ready, because we know Matt Hartley is going to throw a party. Final corner for the 2028 champion. He wins in Daytona Beach. Ahead of Kieran Forrest. Valiant effort for the Ford Fiesta driver, finishing second. Cody Cryer comes home in third. Fourth is Kraus. Boogity, 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 says Matt Hartley. Fourth is Kraus. Fifth, Thomas. Sixth, Crosgrove. Seventh, Schofield. Eighth, Kingsbury. Ninth, Clog. And P10, Magnus Okenhaug. Wow.
I think this is, especially when the points aren't on the line, we put on some great racing in these finals.
As what a race in Daytona Beach. And the Aussie, who has been on the podium for several times this season, kept getting better and better and better, and finally back on the top step of the podium. First time since his only time back in 2020A in Atlanta. As championship implications don't exist, as we remember, those championships have been locked up, all of them. As we were going to try and have a chat with, starting out with Cody Cryer, as here is our official results of Daytona Rising Festival of Speed, presented by iDrive Sim. Matt Hartley from Australia, victorious ahead of Kieran Forrest and Cody Cryer. That is our podium. Luke Kraus, defending champion, defended the championship. Not a bad effort today, given the circumstances. P4. P5, Adam Thomas, after being a ping pong ball. Cody Crosgrove, David Schofield, Ray Kingsbury, Josh Clog, and Magnus Okenhaug. Okenhaug crashed on the opening stages of the race in the Joker. As we'll bring in our third place man, Cody Cryer, if we can find him. And I'll let you have a nice little chat with him, as we'll also bring in race winner Matt Hartley. As Cody, P3, Bodie Cryer, will bring him in, and he is all yours, my friend.
Hey there, Bodie. Got me there, bud? Maybe. Should we switch to someone else? Because I don't think Bodie is ready for us.
We'll switch to Big Dog instead.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Kieran.
What's going
Welcome
on, guys?
to our lovely suite up here, because you got P2, my brother.
Yes, I did, and man, was it well-earned, hard-fought, long time in the making. Finally.
As you and Mr. Hartley, you two both put on an amazing show for us. As I don't know what got in the rest of the field. As that was mass chaos in your review mirror that you might have seen.
I honestly don't know. I didn't pay much attention to it. The relative was up, and I was checking that occasionally just to make sure, nobody's in my mirrors and trying to drive me off the course or drive me crazy and get in my head a bit. But I just kept it to myself and stayed in my own lane, and it was all good to go, focused on what was ahead of me. And Hartley, I tried to get him, but this was too quick.
Yeah, were you thinking of, was that kind of the strategy that you had for the Jokers of what you did, or were you kind of just kind of free, kind of like just going with it and figuring out what would be best whenever, at each time you went through there?
Usually I have a game plan going in as far as what I like to see and what I want to do. But when you get ahead of somebody like Luke Krause or Josh Clogg, whoever that was in that Fierce Competition or whatever their company is, whenever you get ahead of one of them, you got to take advantage of that. So I just made sure that once I got ahead, I didn't let them catch back up, and took the Jokers and made sure I stayed out ahead of them. So that was the plan. Easy running, obviously paid off in the long run,
Yeah, we love to see that we have a sequential sim sport on one of these up to the podium.
Finally.
Love to see it. So, who would you like to thank to get you here?
Obviously, Sequential Sim Sport. Just team members Parker, Harley for showing up tonight. Drake Ragoon, obviously through the whole season. I've been coaching them guys to get better. They did a wonderful job of showing up each night and trying to do. It's unfortunate we couldn't have Drake here tonight to race, but really just thank the whole team of Sequential and my teammates, and Cody, you for obviously being the team owner and kind of being a pushing motivator there. So thank you guys for doing that, and finally got a podium for us. Finally.
Yes. I appreciate you for everything you do for our Rallycross portion of the team. So love to see the rewards pay off and all the hard work. So glad to see it. And hopefully we'll make this a regular thing next season.
Hopefully. Thanks, guys.
Do you drink whiskey in Australia? He's not. Are you already drunk? You're not supposed to get drunk that quick.
I don't drink, bud. I'll go and have a coffee after this to celebrate.
What time is it in Australia?
I'm not going to shake the coffee around because that'll burn.
What time is it in Australia right now?
Currently it is 2 p.m.
Oh, 2 p.m. coffee. That doesn't sound too terrible. What the hell happened on the start? What happened to give you this win? Did the C's part? Did you have speed? I want to hear it from you. Yeah,
I told you last fortnight ago, man, that I was coming out for to get the win in this round because I really wanted it, and I know this track. I didn't put much practice in because I'd just done it so much when it first came out, like back to back, because it was only this one in Phoenix. So yeah, I know it quite well, and just I've been running the setup. I ran almost 2019, I'd say. Yeah, really old setup, and it just worked. It was really good. It got a whole shot too at the start there. I've seen other ones, the wheels spinning there, a bit of smoke there at the start, and you look at my wheels, man, no smoke at all, just total grip. Yeah. Luke probably gave it to me a little bit easy there in that first corner because if it had been me on that side, I would have sent it up the inside, been the last round. So, yeah, I'm just glad I got the whole shot there and just, eyes forward and come across Kieran there after the Joker, and it was like, oh, what do I do? I've got two in my hand, so we'll just see how it plays. And, yeah, worked out. Worked out good, man. Just eyes forward, put me, I
was just about to ask how the battle went with Kieran, because one lap he jokered and you had the strategy over him. Were you ever thinking that he was going to pip you and get ahead and stay ahead?
Yeah, well, I knew if he took his joker on the next one, after he took his first joker and got in front of me, I knew if he took it straight up, I had enough time to make a judgment whether or not, if he's going to take it or not. and I'll just go, and then I'll catch him on the next lap, and put a bit of pressure on him, and then I still got another joker in hand. So yeah, it was all good, all panned out. Yeah, I played my cards right. That was good. Awesome, another win, mate. Maybe for a few months, I'm not a washed-up has-been. Hey?
As
Another
Cody,
win,
do you have
mate.
any?
Yes.
Your second win in the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge. As it's been a while.
Does that equal Bo Albert with the Australian wins? Because it's only him and I that have won.
I actually have it pulled up right here. Bo Albert has 2. Matt Hartley has 2. So you guys are tied for the most wins of an Aussie.
All right. So we're doing this around the first season. Come back. Daytona.
Who knows, my friend. Cody, do you have anything for our race winner?
As speaking of the Australian thing, you get one more win and you can say you're better than Bo Albert. Just think about that.
Yeah, one more win. Yeah, well, that's about the only time I would be better than him, but he just might come back just to get that win and jump ahead of me. We've got a little bit of a rivalry like that. But not as in like on track. Yeah, it just happens like in sessions and stuff, like old practice sessions and whatnot. But yeah, he's so quick. You can't beat him. Not with the backing, mate. I'm a one-horse show here.
There's one I want to congratulate you for being one of our fun bright spots every week on our season
mate,
so far, and putting on a great show here tonight.
I get knocked out, but yeah, it's like it just happens that way,
Yeah, you and Kieran put on an amazing show here tonight, so we kind of appreciate having a good battle here. We didn't know what was going to come into this. He got into the
consolation there, and he won that consi, didn't he? He won his consi, so I thought straight away, I said, look, boys, Kieran's won that consi. When they were going to live it down, and he did well to come back from the rear of the field, to up the front, by the look of it. Same with Bodie as well. Well done to Bodie as well. Book capped that podium.
So
it feels good to be on the top step up here, man. I can see so much more, Look, out there at the crowd. Thanks, guys. Woo! Excellent.
Last thing I want to ask you, is there anyone or any partners you'd like to thank for the P1 result tonight?
Yeah, mate, I'd love to thank Ferry Shifters, DGR, RSW Graphics, you guys there at NASA, Nitro Circus, obviously, Simracer Coin. Yeah, me 2 teammates, Jason and Andrew. Get in there. Come on, boys. Lift, mate, lift. We can win this championship. Come on, next year season.
As you do have quite a long way to wait, but it's certainly enough time.
All right, man. Would you believe I'm shutting down on Tuesday because we have to move house, and it's going to be a month or 2 before I get back up on my feet again anyway. So, yeah.
Just take the time off and do all the practice in the off season. Great run, my friend, and we will see you soon.
Thanks, gentlemen. Cheers.
Wow. What a surprise for the last round of the championship. No titles on the line, and it certainly has not disappointed. As I'll get your final thoughts before I wrap this thing up. Not just tonight, but the season in general.
Yeah. This season, like I said in the beginning, it was not exactly what I think would have predicted. I think we all knew that Luke Krause would have been a title contender, but him just dominating like he did, and then he did show he was human for 2 rounds at least, where I think it was a Phoenix that he had a little bit of a struggle where the points battle kind of tightened back up, and then here tonight where just kind of everything unraveled. I don't know if it's the full moon or what's going on. So we've had some great showings from new people like Cody Cosgrove and Benjamin Forrester. Those 2 guys kind of showed up and had really good showings in their first outings, and then some along with the other new people that have come in and supported us. So super glad that we had this fun season, put on some great action for the fans and everyone. Can't wait for next season.
As like I mentioned, every single season, it's crazy to think that we have just capped off season 24 of the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge. We have one more broadcast in the calendar year of 2021. It's the Arcade Designs Championship Series from Long Beach. I'm thinking you'll have Chad Irvine and Brandon Lambert for that race, but we'll have to see. And then only one more broadcasted show. It is the RK Designs Championship Series in Indianapolis. I have to watch what I say there for licensing issues, but that should be January 12th. I don't know if I'm going to be racing or commentating, but keep an eye on the Discord, nasadiscord.tk, for all of that information. As we have had one of the more fun seasons, even with the dominance factored in the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge. It might have been all Luke Krause for the race wins, but it has certainly been a fantastic season throughout the field for racing throughout. We will be off for quite some time. Tentatively, the end of February is when the 2022A season will begin, but of course, keep an eye on the Discord for all of that information. From all of us at North American Simulated Auto Racing, Nitro, Circus, and the Automotive Sports Network, we thank you for joining us for this presentation of the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge. Coverage today was brought to you by Simracer Coin, the cryptocurrency made by Simracers for Simracers, and while our 22 Simracers raced to own the winner's coin tonight, only Matt Hartley came out on top. We also like to thank Majors Garage for powering our series, along with KES Industries, iDrive Sim Training, DNF Auto Care, and Ferris Shifters. For Zack Johnson and Cody Erdmann, I am Josh Mertz. I hope you have enjoyed all season long on Nitro, Circus, Twitch, and the Automotive Sports Network on demand. But until then, we will see you in February. So long, everyone.